Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Vishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are reading from the Gita home study. The topic is the context of the Gita. In the topic context of the Gita, now here the Swamiji, he presents the topic called Nishta, the committed lifestyle for gaining Atma Jnanam. Two types of Nishta taught by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. The Gita, third chapter, Bhagavan Krishna says, Lokesmin Dvivitha Nishta Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Iti, two types of Nishta lifestyles, committed lifestyles. That is a word Swamiji uses for Nishta. Nitaram Stitihi Nishta. Two committed lifestyles. A lifestyle of activity, pravritti, and a lifestyle of tyaga, renunciation, nivritti. So we will continue. Two lifestyles for gaining self-knowledge, Atmajnana. Krishna also talked about Karma Yoga, a life of activity, and about Sannyasa, a life of renunciation. So both Karma Yoga and Sannyasa are talked about. Both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are talked about. That is why Gita is a complete Shastram, like the Veda, it's a complete. Gita is a Moksha Shastram because it presents moksha as the Purushartha and as a means to gain the Jnana Yogyata. Karma Yoga also presented as in the Shruti. Therefore, like the Shruti, like the Veda, both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are presented. Karma Yoga is a means for gaining Jnana Yogyata Prapti, for gaining the Adhikaritvam, the eligibility for the pursuit of Jnana. And that lifestyle, which is exclusively taken up for the pursuit of Jnanam, is Sannyasa lifestyle. Either through Sannyasa or living any lifestyle and pursuing Jnanam, studying Shastram, one can gain Jnanam and therefore Moksha. Therefore, Moksha is a Tatparyam. So for Moksha, for Atma Jnanam, there are two lifestyles. Lifestyles are two, but the means is only one. The means for Moksha is only Jnana. Jnana Deva Kaivalyam. The means for Moksha is only Jnana. For gaining Jnana Yogyata, Karma Yoga lifestyle is prescribed. And Sannyasa is for those who have got relatively Chitta Shuddhi, free from societal and family responsibility and ready for the exclusive pursuit of Jnanam. Or even taking sannyasa, one can still continue to do do some karma for the welfare of the society so that he also can gain chitta shuddhi by leading that lifestyle and at the same time studying Shastram also. So, with regard to the lifestyle followed, there are divisions. There is a choice. With regard to the lifestyle a person chooses for gaining self-knowledge, there is a choice. But for self-knowledge, there is no choice. So Bhagavan Krishna talks about two types of yoga, two types of nishta, jnana nishta and karma nishta. Karma nishta, life of activity, and jnana nishta, which is characterized by the life of sannyasa. Then he said that all you need in order to be free is to know yourself. So moksha is common, whichever lifestyle is followed. For moksha, what is moksha? Moksha is freedom. Freedom is only through knowledge, self-knowledge. Then why didn't Arjuna ask, do you ask me to engage myself in this war, which will result only in destruction? This was a very relevant question. If freedom is involved in knowing myself, then why should I engage in this war, which brings total destruction to both sides? Seems to be a highly pertinent question. The war involves bloodshed, life loss, property loss. Then what what benefit would the war bring it? For me, if I ask, as I'm a mukshu, moksharthi, interested in moksha, what this war will bring me is not what I'm interested. So why do you engage me in war? Seems to be a relevant question. Arjuna thought that Krishna was giving him two conflicting pieces of advice. Krishna had said that knowledge liberates, and therefore Arjuna felt that he was telling him to pursue knowledge, which was what he wanted to do. Not only had Krishna said that knowledge liberates, he had also said that karma binds. Then he had told Arjuna to do karma. What did this mean? Thus, Arjuna begged Krishna, please don't say sannyasa is good, karma yoga is also good. I cannot accept this. Tell me one or the other. This third chapter, Arjuna says, ask this question, Vyamishche Nevavakyena, Buddhi Moha Yasivame. You are saying that Jnanam alone gives moksha. Jnanam is the only means for moksha. Then karma is not the means. Then why do you ask me to do karma? So don't say karma is also good, jnanam is also good. Karma involves a lot of effort and pain. Karma also bandhakaranam. It's not moksha karanam. Karma is not moksha karanam. Jnanam alone is moksha karanam. You said very clearly. Therefore, your advice seems to be conflicting. Therefore, I don't understand. Please tell me one thing very clearly. Iti Arjuna asked Bhagavan Krishna. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna did not give any conflicting advice. Did not give any conflicting advice. That has to be properly understood. Jnanam alone is a means that he said very clearly. Then why did he suggest moksha? Why did he suggest karma? Karma is required for oneself to get prepared, oneself to get the yogyata. Qualified. One has to become qualified for the pursuit of jnana. So without qualification, without preparedness, you won't be able to listen to the Shastram. Without preparedness, you will not be interested also. You will not be interested in attending the class and listening to what the Shastram says. For the Shastram to enter your head, you should have relative tranquility, relative peace, relative contentment, relative satisfaction, relative achievement. All these are gainable only through karma yoga. One must have gained sufficient maturity only by leading the lifestyle of karma yoga. So karma prepares a person. So without the preparatory means, one cannot have the yogyata for jnanam. And jnanam is the only means for moksha. Therefore, there is no conflict. Karma yoga is the indirect means for moksha. Direct means is jnana. That was very clearly said, but Arjuna did not understand. And because the karma, what he is supposed to do is to wage the war, which is not an easy karma, which is not an easy thing, which involves bloodshed, loss of life. So therefore, why do you engage me in this karma if this karma is not going to help me in gaining freedom? So don't say jnanam is also good, karma is also good. Don't say that. Tell me one thing very firmly by which I will get good, ultimate good. That is the question. So therefore, what is the difference between this karma yoga and sannyasa? Nishta dvayam, the lifestyles. What are the two lifestyles? Why these two lifestyles are available? One lifestyle, to get the necessary preparedness. In other lifestyle, you are free from many responsibilities. Whole time is available for the pursuit of jnana. That is not available in karma yoga lifestyle. So therefore, karma yoga is a means for jnana yoga. That is for sannyasa. Even one has not taken sannyasa, one can have the attitude of a sannyasa, antara sannyasa, and continue to do minimum of karma and follow shastram, follow, listen to the shastram, spending a lot of time, maximum time in listening to shastra, minimum time in, or minimum, or doing only minimum karma. So that one can do. Therefore, whichever lifestyle you follow, there is no problem. But the goal is moksha, jnanam, therefore moksha. So, therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says, I have taught two types of lifestyles at the beginning, the lifestyle of karma yoga and lifestyle of jnana yoga. Karma yoga for the mukshu who are yet to get ready for the jnana yoga lifestyle. So jnana yoga is for one who are already ready, prepared for the jnana yoga lifestyle. So jnana yoga is characterized by the lifestyle of sannyasa. Karma yoga is characterized by the lifestyle of grihastha. So it doesn't mean grihasthas are prohibited from listening to the shastra. They also can listen to the shastra. In fact, being in the grihastha life can do karma yoga as well as jnana yoga. Then this lifestyle of sannyasa is also a choice. It's a choice. It is not a must. That is the idea. Continuing. Knowing the difference between karma yoga and sannyasa is a matter of understanding, and Arjuna was confused. Yes, that's why the question he asked. Tell me one thing by which I will get the ultimate good. It is not one thing. One thing, if you ask, it is only through jnana. Jnanam alone is a means. So there is no choice with regard to moksha. Whereas with regard to the lifestyle you follow, there is a choice. Because choice is there, and if, without preparedness, if you take sannyasa life, that lifestyle also will become problem for any person not prepared. That lifestyle would be a problem. Only for the prepared, sannyasa is prescribed. Therefore, sannyasa is not a must for jnanam. What is must for the jnanam is jnana yogyata. Preparedness is required. Having the preparedness, still one can continue to be a grihastha. Sannyasa is only a choice. Therefore, and Arjuna is interested in sannyasa. Why? If sannyasa is taken, he is free from this commitment to war. He did not engage in this war. So therefore, he doesn't want to kill his own kith and kin. So Therefore, he found sannyasa as an escape method, escape way, saying that he can say that I want freedom, therefore I take up the lifestyle of sannyasa, finding some escape method. He want to escape from this war, not out of fear, but doesn't want to kill his own kith and kin, brothers. So therefore, so Arjuna was confused. He was not ready to, he was not ready or he was not able to understand. He was confused, therefore he was not able to understand what Krishna says. Therefore, what Bhagavan Krishna says, even though what he said was very clear, it seems to be confusing Arjuna. So therefore he asked Krishna to tell him which one was right for him to follow. Although Bhagavan Krishna told him very clearly, he asked which one was right for him, for me to follow. But Krishna did not want to play the role of a consultant. He only wanted to teach Arjuna, only teaching. The decision has to be his. So to teach is to make the other person see as clearly as you see that, so that he or she doesn't need to come to you again. The person who is able to do this is a teacher. Therefore, is a teacher, not a preacher. So he presents the facts, he presents the truth. Ultimately, it is he, the listener, the Shishya, the disciple, has to decide. Krishna, being a teacher, he did not give Arjuna advice. Instead, he taught him. Teaching is not advice. Teaching is presenting the truth as it is. And it's up to the disciple to take decision. So, as a teacher, Bhagavan Krishna or any teacher will not give advice. They present the fact, they present the truth to teach just what the Shastram says. So Krishna, being a teacher, did not give Arjuna advice. Then what did he do? Instead, he taught him the remaining chapters of the Gita from the third chapter onwards up to the 18th chapter. To this end of second chapter, Gita is over. The topic of Gita is over, but it continues from third chapter onwards. Why? Because Arjuna did not understand. So to make his disciple understand, Bhagavan Krishna elaborated what he had taught in the second chapter. So it is only teaching, so not advice. So Bhagavad Gita is not advice of Krishna. It is a teaching of Krishna, which is same as a teaching of Shruti. At the beginning of the fifth chapter, Arjuna had the same doubt and rephrased the question again. The same doubt what he asked in the third chapter, he asked again in the beginning of the fifth chapter. And Krishna was not tired. He taught him. Again, Krishna told him sannyasa was good and karma yoga was good. Then he told Arjuna that it was not a matter for choice, but it was a matter for understanding. How this teaching came about. We have two epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Both are historical and also have a literary value. I consider these historical poetic works to be similar to those we have in English literature. Ramayana and Mahabharata, they're called Itihasa. Itihasa. This is how it happened. It is poetical as well as historical. Shakespeare's plays, for example, while based on certain historical figures, also have drama woven into them. Walter Scott's novels are especially historical in the mention of the names of particular kings. The description of the time period and condition is all true, whereas the heroes and heroines are fictional. Similarly, I see in the Ramayana, authored by the poet Valmiki, the historical figures in Rama, Sita, and Dasharatha. Also, Ayodhya, the city in which they lived, did exist. So too the island called Lanka and the demonic king Ravana. But I also see an underlying meaning conveyed by Valmiki when he presented Ravana as having 10 heads. If someone has 10 heads and each head thinks in its own way, then you have a person who thinks as though he has 10 heads, each one having its own way of thinking. He is therefore a great person of, therefore is a person of great confusion. So Ravana was like that. He was a Brahmana and a great devotee of Lord Shiva. However, he did not behave like a Brahmana. A Brahmana should not rule a kingdom, and Ravana did. Furthermore, although he was a devotee, he was also demonic. Thus, Ravana was an embodiment of contradiction. That is what is represented by the 10 heads of Ravana. This may be why he was portrayed as having 10 heads, an aspect that is purely poetic. So it is not that he really had 10 heads. The poetic way of presenting that he had 10 heads. It means a person of contradictions, confusion. Ravana was a Brahmana. The Brahmana cannot rule a kingdom, only Kshatriya can rule. But Ravana ruled the kingdom. There are many characters like that, even in Mahabharata also. Dronacharya was a Brahmana, Kripacharya Brahmana, but they were all in the battlefield, and Dronacharya taught martial arts to both Kauravas and Pandavas. So they have shifted the profession. By Jati, by birth they are Brahmana, but by profession they are not Brahmana. So Brahmana Kshatriya. So therefore, here Ravana, although Ravana was a Brahmana by birth, he was ruling the kingdom, interested in power, interested in pleasure. Therefore, he is represented as a person having 10 heads. We also find in these epics a lot of poetry centered on certain historical events. That is why they are called Itihasa. Itihasa. This is how it was. The meaning is so. Therefore, Itihasa has got both historical facts as well as imaginations. Thus, the Ramayana authored by Valmiki and the later Mahabharata authored by Vyasa are both considered to be historical poetry. It has got historical value as well as poetic literature. Mahabharata. Mahabharata is Panchamo Vedaha. Vedas are four: Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. And Yajur Veda itself, there are divisions: Shukla Yajur Veda, Krishna Yajur Veda. So Vedas are five in number, they say. If you take that Krishna Yajur Veda, Shukla Yajur Veda to be Yajur Veda, then it is four. If it is four, then Mahabharata considered to be fifth Veda. Mahabharata also, like the Veda, presents the teaching of both karma as well as jnana. Why? Because Gita is not only Gita, there are many Gitas are there in the Mahabharata. Many texts in the Mahabharata are there presenting the teaching of the Shruti. Gita is one well known. So Gita is one well known. And also Mahabharata, whatever is not covered in Mahabharata, it is not covered anywhere. That is a statement. So Mahabharata contains all the topics. Contains history, it contains this it talks about values, talks about economics, it talks about society, culture, whichever topic is there, if all the topics are covered, in all the vidyas are covered in the Mahabharata, they say. So therefore, Mahabharata is considered to be the fifth Veda, Panchamo Vedaha. There are four Vedas, and Mahabharata is referred to as the fifth Veda because it is so complete. It is complete, covering various topics. It talks about various vidya. So it talks on how to rule a kingdom. What are the duties of a king? What are the duties of the king, and about the army, the military, the economics, and other science, astronomy, various topics are talked about in this grantha, in this huge literature, and also Jnanam also. Jnanam also talked about. Therefore, there is not nearly the amount of information in the Ramayana as there is in the Mahabharata. Compared to size also, Ramayana is smaller. And also the amount of information in Mahabharata is huge. Any topic you could ask for is there. Dharma, logistics, political acumen, everything. Dharma, justice, all these the modern IPC, Indian Penal Code, they're all based on Mahabharata and Manusmriti. Logistics, trading, business, values, all these things are talked about. All of these are beautifully illustrated through the epic's excellent characterizations. Various values are highlighted in the stories by presenting the same person in different moods and situations. Bhima, for instance. Who is Bhima? Bhima, one of the Pancha Pandava, that is brother, the next brother, next one to Yudhishthira. Bhima, for instance, stands out as a person with his own moods, proclivities, characteristics, inclinations, capacities, limitations, and points of vulnerability. Each of these aspects is mentioned when characterizing any given hero. In this way, the five Pandavas and the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra from Duryodhana downward are all presented individually as characters in their own right. Duryodhana, important character. The character teaches something. Similarly, Karna is known for dharma. His character also teaches, though he was known for dharma, for dhanam, charity, but still he had taken the side of Duryodhana. And having known that Pancha Pandavas are his brother, but still he fought on the side of Duryodhana because he has gratitude for his friend Duryodhana. He had favored him by giving a kingdom. Therefore, so each character teaches a lot of values. Similarly, Bhishma, one of the important characters, he till the end, he just abide by the promise what he had given to the father of Satyavati, the fisherman. Observed complete abstinence, brahmacharya. In spite of the situations arose, he did not yield. He did not yield to that. He remained in his, he followed his word. He remained in his brahmacharya till the end. So all these are wonderful characterizations. The author, Vyasa, who is known for compiling the Vedas, the same author, Vyasacharya, considered to be a principal link in the Vedic teaching tradition. Principal link. Why? Because he compiled these scattered Vedas. Vedas were scattered among different people. So he compiled and handed over to the respective the families for maintaining the Veda. So therefore, one of the important link in the Vedic tradition is Vyasacharya. There are such many important links. Vyasacharya is one of the important links. Then after Vyasacharya, Shankaracharya is another important link in the parampara. Though there were many people in the parampara, these links are important links because they have come and done something to the tradition which was either disappearing or about to disappear. So they revived. So therefore considered to be the important links. Because of their effort only, this Vedic teaching still survives. Veda still survives. He is therefore an important figure. Beginning from the Lord Narayana all the way down to my own teachers, there is a live tradition in which Vyasa is the most important historical connecting link. The parampara, the lineage of teachers of the Brahma Vidya, is presented in the following shloka, the very famous shloka. Arayanam Patmabhuvam Vasishtam Shaktim Chatat Putra Parasharancha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Mathasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Patmapadancha Hasta Malakancha Shishyam Pantotakam Vartikakaravanyaan Asmad Gurun Santatamanatosmi. In Sanskritam, there are typos. Many typos. In transliteration, there are no mistakes. Starting from Narayana, the Lord. This is shloka is similar to the shloka Sadashiva Samarambha. Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So the parampara is mentioned. But the parampara is Narayana or Shiva. Both are one. Hara or Hari. The name doesn't matter. Parampara starts from Bhagavan only. So Narayana, then from Padmabhuva, it is Brahmaji, then from Vasishta, from Vasishta Shakti, That is, Shakti is Shakti. Then from Shakti, then is son Parashara. Son of Parashara is Vyasa. Vyasa son is Shuka. Then there are many people. Then comes Gaudapada, grand guru of Shankaracharya, Gaudapada. Then his disciple Govinda Bhagavad Pada, Shankaracharya. Then his disciple Padmapada, Astamalaka, Totakacharya, and Sureshwaracharya. Artikakaram means Sureshwaracharya. All and down to our teachers, other teachers in the tradition, we offer our namaskara. So in this shloka, Vyasa is an important link. Vyasa is an important link. Vyasa is also called Veda Vyasa because he compiled the Vedas, because it was he who edited and classified and codified all the mantras of the Vedas. He grouped them into four. Already it is four Veda only. So since the mantras were scattered, he grouped them back into four and made them available to the future generations by making one family responsible for each, or making one shaka or branch. So he handed over to one family, handed over to different family, each family responsible for maintaining the particular shaka, the branch of the Veda. That is how it survived. Down the line, it was handed over. Vedas survived and surviving. To commit all the four Vedas to memory is not realistic. It requires 12 years and a bright mind to commit even one entire Veda to memory. And all were committed to memory in those days in Veda Pathashala. Even now, it is committed to memory. The young boy in his 8th year goes to a teacher and spends his next 12 years doing this. This is what happens at the Veda Pathashala. Going to a teacher at the 8th year and spending 12 years up to 20th year studies Veda, commit the Veda to memory. To memorize the four Vedas would mean becoming a grandfather by the time the work is completed. But there are people who knows all the four Vedas by heart. They're called Chaturvedi. Those who know three Vedas, they're called Trivedi. Those who have studied two Vedas, they're called Dvivedi. Then there is no Ekavedi. Why? Everybody is supposed to know at least their Veda, their Shaka at least. Why? They should have studied. Therefore, there is no Ekavedi. So Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi. And therefore, Vyasa made it easy. A particular family maintains one branch of the Veda throughout the generations. In this way, the four Vedas have come down to us in the original form through an unbroken chain of oral tradition. Because Vyasa was responsible for handing the Vedas over to posterity, he came to be known as Veda Vyasa iti. Then comes the prayer, shloka, is going to come. As I told before, Gita doesn't have any prayer shloka. The first shloka, the first name itself, Dhritarashtra Vacha, the name itself acts as a prayer. But then there are 9 shlokas chanted, Dhyana shloka, chanted, which are not part of the Bhagavad Gita, but the sources are different, but they are chanted. Each Dhyana shloka praises different praises or does offer prayers to different things. Like the text Gita, it's offered prayer. Vyasacharya, a prayer is offered. Bhagavan Krishna, a prayer is offered. So like there are 9 such shlokas. That is what generally we chant before the Gita class. So therefore they become the Dhyana shloka, invocatory prayer. Though not part of the Gita, but chanted before the Gita class. They say these shlokas are written by Madhusudana Saraswati, but we don't know. But maybe find out Madhusudana Saraswati. And those shlokas are the Dhyana shloka for the study of Gita. So now comes the next topic is this Gita. Gita's invocatory prayer. Invoking the Gita, invoking the Vyasacharya, thanking the Vyasacharya, offering namaskara to Bhagavan Krishna. Then we come on the study of Gita. The beautiful Jnana shloka. Each shloka is so beautiful. And some shlokas do presents all the important characters. The form of a metaphor, it presents and Bhagavan Krishna as the Kaivartaka, the boatman, carrying the Mumukshus, the Pandavas, across this ocean of samsara. So there is a Dhyana shloka which also we will see. Shloka with their meaning. The next class. So stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. I think in this Gita, Dhyana Shloka is not there, but I'll explain the Gita meaning. This book is not there. Gita's invocatory prayer, then start the first chapter, directly starts. Gita Dhyana Shloka is missing. We'll see. We'll see the simple meaning of Gita Dhyana Shloka. Dhanyavadaha.